So I just wanted to say something out loud. The internet has low-key brainwashed us, like all of us, especially if you have type 4 natural hair, like me. You've probably seen some version of do more of this, buy more of this, tame your hair, change your style, use 12 different products to grow your hair down to your back in 6 months. We scroll for long enough till we start thinking these things are normal, but they are not. We need to give ourselves a reality check so we stop feeling like there is something wrong with us or with our hair, or something that we need to fix when it's not looking right, when the style doesn't come out right, when the style doesn't last the whole week. These things are normal. There's nothing to be fixed there. So today, this is what we're talking about. A lot of things have been normalized, and this, in my opinion, is one major cause of frustration with our hair. We think, oh, it must be me, or oh, it must be my hair, when in fact it is neither. So today I am sharing 5 things that the internet has made us believe are normal, but really aren't. And I've got another 5 more. So if these 5 resonate with you, let me know and I'll make the second video. Number 1 is thinking we have to switch up our styles to prove something. Maybe to prove that we can. The fact that we can flat iron our hair, wear a wash and go wig, twist out or bantu knot out tomorrow, and braid out today, or whatever protective styles we want to do next month, doesn't mean that we should. We should if we want to, but not because there's some expectation or something to prove. You will see tons of these kinds of videos on the internet telling you that if you have natural hair, you can do a puff, a low puff, a side puff, a top puff. You must switch your hair up. Why? There's literally no reason to. The internet loves a good 10 hairstyles to try this week video. But who has the time for all of these? There's this unspoken pressure that you have to change your hairstyle every so often or you're not creative enough. You know what the problem really is? We must learn each and every style with trial and error and money and time and patience. And you know what's worse? We then need 7 million hair products for each style, when all we needed in the beginning was just to keep things simple, because that's what actually helps our hair thrive. Repeating styles, whatever you choose, builds length retention habits and helps you become more efficient at each style so that you know exactly how to do them, you know exactly what products you need, you know what to expect, and you know what to do when the style starts aging. I'm certain most of us do not have the kind of time we are spending in our hair switching things up, nor the money. And this leads us to number 2, and this is buying a ton of hair products. All of the latest releases, all of the ads on social media, all of the influencer recommendations, just buying and buying, forgetting that the routine and not the products is what makes or break a hairstyle. Essentially, here's what we're doing. We go to work. Many of us don't even like where we work. They don't even like us either. We go to work, we do our best, we take our money, we buy a bunch of hair products that then live under our bathroom sink for years and years and years and years. Then we have to clean them out and declutter them and check out which one is expired because we have a whole rack, right? Then we have to organize them. And we go buy organizing containers and drawers and compartments because now we've run out of space. And then we go organize all of these hair products that we have. Oh, and of course, we then keep inventory, just, bugging us in the back burner of our heads. Then we get bored, then we buy new products, and then we stop feeling bored, and then the cycle repeats itself all over again. What we forget is that many people online who recommend products to us probably have been gifted these products, or have been paid to review the products, and use their job to learn how to do their hair, to learn how to perfect each and every style. For many of us, this is not the case. There's no win for people here. Unfortunately, cabinets are full of products customized for every single hair type. My hair is low porosity, or my hair is knee length or shoulder length. And then we've got all these styles that we're trying to learn and master. All of this is actually pretty wasteful. Then space consuming as well. You bought all these products, where do you store them? Where will your husband or your mom or your daughter or your sibling, people you live with, your flatmates, where will they store their own products that they've now bought? Nowhere. A few 2 to 3 similar-ish styles is ideal. Just learn those and go from there. But what is not ideal is having racks and shelves and cabinets full of hair products as if you were a retailer. even if we can afford them. That is not normal. Number 3 is the perfect hair every day from wash day to wash day. Wash and go, braid outs, braid ins, twist outs, everything must be in perfect condition the whole 7 days or whatever days that you wear them. Type 4 hair shrinks. Most curly hairs do. And that's not a problem. The hair evolves, it gets frizzy, it gets bigger by lunchtime. That's not a failure. It rains, it gets humid, it gets bigger or it shrinks up. This is just how our hair communicates. So please don't let a 15-second reel tell you that your hair is broken when in fact your hair is just doing what it naturally does. Your hair will not look the same as the day goes by, let alone as the week goes by, because as time passes, water evaporates from the hair, leaving it looking frizzy, leaving it looking a little duller, even a little drier to the touch. All of this is perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with your hair when your hair does all of this. You know what? Expecting your day 7 hair to look like it did on wash day, or even worse, constantly manipulating your hair every day, just trying to refresh it so that it looks like wash day hair, that's not normal. Next is the way that our hair naturally is, naturally looks, naturally feels, is something to fix, something to combat, something to fight with. Our hair must be jet black, silky, shiny, thick hair, lots of hair density, the works. The same width from roots to ends. You know, everything must just be perfect, pristine to look like your hair is good. Look, I get it. I have hennaed my hair in the past. When I do it, my hair is really brown. So I hennaed my hair because I felt like my brown hair blended into my brown skin and there was no clear hairline and I wanted a clear hairline. So I hennaed my hair, ruined my hair, chopped it all off slowly. I ruined my hair. So yes, we can do whatever we want. I understand that. We can do whatever we want because we want to, not because it is the expectation, right? Not because that's how we should do our hair, not because that's how our hair should look or should feel, like the ladies on social media whose job it is to do their hair. There's nothing wrong with shrinkage either. Let's just get there. This is another major reason I love the wash and go. Shrinkage is fine. It's great, especially if you live in a humid city. If you've not got any time and you want to do your hair regularly, you like the feel of your hair, whatever reason you come up with, shrinkage is great. For example, I live in a humid city. It rains all the time. I literally just said it was raining. My hair just shrunk every single second. So I just figured if I just style my hair where my hair wants to go, I'll be less frustrated. So the wash and go became my go-to style. My hair will not shrink. I also don't wear braid outs or twist outs. Why? Because I have to blow dry my hair to wear those styles. Why? I don't have a lot of hair. Look at how skinny my braids are. Please look at how skinny this is. This is not a small section. Let's see if I can pull out another one. Look at how skinny this braid is. Look how big this section is. I'll put photos up so you can see what I'm talking about. I do not have a lot of hair. So when I go and braid my hair or twist my hair up, without blow drying, skinny braids is what I end up with. Skinny braids and not like the ladies I see on social media. So if your hair is like mine or different from mine and you have other things that need to be fixed, please don't think that those are issues. The internet should be a source of inspiration, not a place where you feel sad because you know somebody else whose hair you admire, that person's hair is better than yours. Maybe a good solution to this would be to follow people who do the most boring things, the most mundane things before they head out to work or to school or to go pick up the kids or drop off the kids. People who maybe have hairs that look like yours and it's not like a whole full production, right? Maybe we can follow less and less of the people whose hair make us feel bad or feel jealous, no matter how gorgeous their hair is. Perhaps when we finally get to the point where we are confident in our own hair, then we can start following any and everybody. Look, just a thought, right? If we build a routine based on what we have in our heads, our own hair, where we are, what weather or climate we live in, our budget, our time, how busy we are, do we have kids, do we have time for our hair, are we studying, do we not have time for our hair? If we stopped chasing solutions to things that are not problems, we will be much, much happier. Much happier and settled. Our hair is not a problem that needs to be solved. And number 5 is the length checks every 3 to 4 months. This one is probably the worst of them all. I put up a post not long ago saying, look, oh my goodness, my hair's grown, blah, blah. Very tiny little growth, but it was there. Someone made a comment, and I'm sure that they meant well. The comment was like, wearing a wash and go is the reason why your hair is stuck at this length. Everything, blah, blah. It's because you're not doing protective styles, you're not retaining length, it's a wash and go. I wouldn't share the post with you, but I didn't feel bad. So, well, I did feel bad, and I stopped feeling bad. I actually hearted the comment. I know that for my hair, this one on my head, it takes at least 8 months to see any kind of growth. 8. Any shorter than that is like running a fool's errand. I wouldn't see any growth at all. The way that our hair grows is coily. For this reason, it grows, when it grows out of our heads, it grows coily. It doesn't grow straight out of the head. Do you know what I mean? It needs several times to loop through and to form half a coil and then a full coil. And before one full coil is formed, the first portion of my hair is probably just lying on my scalp, not even sticking out, so I can't even see the length down below. And since my hair is not straight, it doesn't grow out of my scalp straight. So the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch, I can't see it down here every few months. I've got to wait a good amount of time to go, oh, my hair is actually growing. The way it grows is out of my control. There's nothing I can do about that. So if your hair hasn't doubled in length in 3 or 4 months, that's normal. Doing length checks every 2.5 seconds is not normal. The internet has really brainwashed us into thinking that complexity is the path to good hair, that if we're not doing the most and buying the most, then we're doing it wrong. But your hair isn't here to perform. It's on your head to be loved, for you to enjoy it. The journey doesn't have to be perfect, neither does it have to look like mine or someone else's. Like I said in the start of this video, I've got 5 more of these, so let me know if you are interested in the comments below, and let me know which of these you resonated with. I'm more than happy to create a part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.